All right, here we go. So, review for your test. Here we go. Questions 1 through 4. Test review number 1. All right, so level 2 question. Which diagram represents the graph of this equation? Y equals 2x minus 2. I could just think about how I would graph this, right? And think about the slope, and think about the y-intercept. But hey, why would I do that? When I have a calculator, my calculator is going to graph this for me. So I'm going to put this into y equals, and I'm going to look at my picture. And let's see what I get. Alright, it looks like 2 of these choices look like my graph, but there's very slight differences between the 2 graphs, if you notice, right? These 2 kind of look the same, and these kind of look the same. The only difference it looks like is the y-intercepts. So my graph looks like this, except my y-intercept looks like it's down here at -1. So that's why it's choice C. And again, look at my y-intercept over here, -1, right? That means my graph crosses the y-axis at -1. All right, moving on to the next one. Question 2. The line 3x minus 2y equals 12 has, all right, and I'm looking, it says slopes and it has y-intercepts. Well, I can't tell what the slope or y-intercept is until it's in y equals mx plus b form. So that's what I have to do first. 3x minus 2y equals 12. My goal is to get that y by itself. So sad MEP, working backwards. I'm going to get rid of the 3x first by subtracting. I'm left with 2y equals, let's put the -3x in the front and the 12 in the back, because that way it'll look more like mx plus b. And then my second step is to get rid of that -2. Oof. So my slope, it looks like, right, I'm going to have to divide everything by -2. So -3 divided by -2. In my calculator, if I just do like alpha y equals, it gets me 3/2. And then if I do 12 divided by -2, I get -6. So that would mean my slope is 3/2 and my y-intercept, or my b, is -6. So be sure you know how to solve for y, because that was really important in order to get this equation written in y equals form so that I can pick out those 2 pieces of information, my slope and my y-intercept. Pause the video if you need to copy the notes. Alright, number 3. What is the equation of a line that passes through the point -2, -8, and has a slope of 3? A couple different ways to do this. I mean, since I have a calculator, I could put all of these into my calculator and then look at the table. The only reason I have to put all of them is because, well, they all have a slope of 3. I see the 3's. And I would have to go and look at the table and see if that point is on each of these lines. I feel like that would take me a little while, so maybe I don't want to do that. I could also check, could like plug in -2 for x and -8 for y and see if they work out. I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to take my formula, because this is what would happen, right? If I knew the slope, which is 3, and I knew a point, and points are x's and y's. Oop, did not even pick up that color. Let's try that again. So I would have -2 for x, and I'd have -8 for y, and then I would be able to figure out what the y-intercept would be. So let's see, my calculator, I get -3 times -2, I get -6, and then to solve for b, I would have to add 6 on both sides, and my final answer for b would be -2. And so the only one that has a b value, or my y-intercept of -2, is choice A. And there you go. So again, few different ways of going about doing this, but hopefully you got choice A. Alright, question number 4. The graph below was created by an employee at a gas station. Alright, I'm going to look and see what it says. It's got cost of gas on the y-axis. It's got number of gallons on the x-axis. That makes sense because the cost of gas depends on the number of gallons. Which statement can be justified by using the graph? Okay, let's see. If 10 gallons of gas were purchased, $35 was paid. Alright, 10 gallons of gas, 35. No, it's not really 35. It's like a little bit more than 35. So, not choice 1. Choice 2. For every gallon of gas purchased, $3.75 was paid. Yeah, I don't know. For every 2 gallons of gas, $5 was paid. Alright, so 2 gallons I can look at. 2 gallons. No, not really $5. It's like somewhere in between $5 and $10. So that's like somewhere over here. If 0 gallons of gas were purchased, 0 miles were driven. Miles were driven? Well, we weren't talking about miles. We're talking about cost. So that one doesn't make sense. So it's got to be this one. The question is, why is it this one? How does that work? So it's like for every gallon of gas purchased, $3.75 was paid. So it's basically like saying, if I moved up and over, it should be $3.75 for each one. I should be able to count that out. It's a little hard to see on here. So what I can do is I can pick a point, like this one right here, nice perfect point. That point is 4, 15. And I can see, right, is that the slope? Is that the relationship? And I can pick at this other point right here, 8 and 30. And I can use like my slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That looks like a y. That looks like an x. Now it's a y. There we go. And I could, right, do the subtractions and see what I get. Let's see. 15 minus 30. And then since I did 15 first, I have to do 4 first. 4 minus 8. And put that in my calculator. Let's see what I get. Alpha y equals 15 minus 30, 4 minus 8. I get 15 fourths. Well, that doesn't really help me very much now, does it? 15 fourths. I don't know what that is. Let's put that, let's do 15 divided by 4. Oh, hey, look at that. 375. There you go. And again, I could have done that just even with just the one point that I had, right? Talking about slope, which are y values over x values. So there you go. All right, pause the video if you need to keep on going. Actually, we're going to stop the video right now. I forgot, we're doing 2 days worth. So we'll watch the second video to see the second half of the review sheet.